That would recognize sexual violence not only as a tactic of war, but also as a tactic of extremism and terrorism. In a hard-hitting briefing to the 15-member council, the Secretary General Special Representative on Sexual Violence in Conflict highlighted how non-state actors like Boko Haram, ISIS and other extremist groups have employed sexual violence against women in particular as an integral part of their ideology and strategic objectives, and as a means of advancing their political, military and economic ends.
Women and girls have long been used as sex slaves by these groups, held against their will, raped and abused before being traded among militants like livestock at a farmer's market.
Social media platforms are being used to facilitate trade and trafficking. Women and children are offered in the same online forums as rifles and rocket-propelled grenades. This one is young, beautiful and good in bed. I need at least $7,500 for her. You won't regret it. This is part of the message thread under a photograph of a girl painted with bright lipstick. She cannot be older than 12 years. Eventually, the winning bid is $7,700, offered by a Libyan ISIL fighter.
Bangura pointed out that 37 of the 48 parties listed in her latest report are non-state actors, lamenting that while progress was being made with national security forces, militant groups were providing new challenges.
If these groups are beyond the reach of judicial deterrence, then we must focus on divesting them of resources and degrading their capacity to communicate, trade, travel, and do harm. This must form a part of our global, regional, and national strategies to counter terrorism and violent extremism. As the report notes, counter-terrorism strategies can no longer be decoupled from effort to protect and empower women and girls and to combat conflict-related sexual violence.
As a clearer understanding of the political economy of terrorism begins to emerge. Bangura's frank briefing could not have been clearer that the war of conquest of extremist groups is being fought on and fought over the bodies of women and girls. That when the world is confronted by reports of women taken by Boko Haram, ISIS and Al-Shabaab, that this is not merely a kidnapping but a revival of the slave trade. That terrorism is not just the destruction of property, killings or bombings, but the violence inflicted on women and girls behind closed doors. Sherman Bryceby's SABC News, New York.